Welcome to the Writer Groupie podcast. I'm Kim Smith, the writing guru, bringing you discussions, insights, and insider details on planning, producing, promoting, and profiting as a writer. This is a podcast by writers for writers. You can find out more about Writer Groupie at www.kimsmithauthor.com. And here's the next episode of Writer Groupie. Good evening and welcome to the 42nd episode of Writer Groupie. You guys, this year is gone, you guys. We're going to start a whole new year real soon. And I'm excited because tonight we have Sharon Stogner with us. And Sharon is a book reviewer and a pro editor. So you guys get double the pleasure tonight with our guests. And I'm going to bring her on right now. Hey Sharon, how you doing?
Hello, I'm doing great.
Well, I got to tell you, we met at Imaginarium. The two of us were the only two people on the blogging panel. You were double booked. You had to run away to the banquet, and I was left to do the blogging panel, which turned out to be really fun and interesting, and I think people got a lot out of it. I thank you for leading me in that way because you answered a lot of the questions before you left, and the ones that people were left with were a little more simple ones that I answered for them. So it turned out to be really, really a good panel, and you left me in a good place, and, we got to do this again soon one day. I hope we do that again. I'd like a rematch on that panel thing with you next year. Hope you're planning on going to Imaginarium next year, or maybe you're going to another con.
Oh, yeah, I try to go to a couple a year. My site partner, because with I Smell Sheep, it's me and my co-partner, Katie Dawson. And she lives in California. Well, now she lives in Washington State. So we try to pick one con somewhere where we get to meet and we get to see each other once a year. So This time we're going to New Orleans.
Oh, fun. Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't introduce you exactly properly. Sharon Stogner. The book review site is called I Smell Sheep. Now, you guys don't laugh too hard. I'm telling you, when I heard the name of this, I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. But I promise you, it's like Sharon said, you will not soon forget the name of the company, I Smell Sheep, because it's completely unique. So tell us about I Smell Sheep, and how did you get yourself landed with this company with the funny name?
Well, I guess it was about 5 to 6 years ago, I started doing a lot of reading, speculative fiction, and I found Goodreads. And I started doing reviews on Goodreads, and I got a lot of attention. People liked the way I reviewed. And then I started doing guest reviews for some other blogs who invited me. And I used to go visit I Smell Sheep, and they were so small. It was just Katie and a couple of her reviewer friends, and they only had like 113 followers. It was small. And I would go every day, and I'd comment and talk with everybody. And she finally asked if I wanted to, do guest reviews. And so that was about 5 years ago. And I was like, sure, why not? And I quickly became very important there.
How many reviewers does I Smell Sheep have?
Well, that depends. About a year and a half to 2 years ago, it came down to just me and Katie and maybe one other person. We lost our reviewers because, they have lives. And it was just us, and we were scrambling because she has a full-time job.
Oh, wow.
And a son. And I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I had time, so I would take care of daily blog issues and things like that. And so I started scheduling a lot of guest posts and doing a lot of tours, blog tours.
Oh.
Which we could talk about because
sure.
They're marketing tool for an author.
Oh, absolutely.
So we started doing a whole bunch of these, and then about a year ago, I started asking for reviewers, and it's really hard to find them, but we struck gold, and now we've got, I think, 7.
Wow, that's great.
Some are only, once or twice a month. Some, they kick out 5, 6 reviews a month. So
wow.
And then
tell me about the blog tour thing. I have a friend who's recently published, and recently he asked me about book blog tours and did I think that they were effective marketing tools. And I told him that I really didn't think they were anymore. I didn't know of anybody who was doing a blog tour anymore. So this is great information. Paul West, listen to what she has to say right now.
um, well, it depends on your market. We do speculative fiction, and there are certain blog tours that cater to different genres, so you've got to find that. And about a year and a half ago, there were tons of blog tour companies came out, and it was a quick buck, and they were taking advantage of authors, and it was a disaster for the blog. For us, it was a disaster. For the authors, it was a disaster. But all the crap has kind of settled out and went out of business, and now there's some really strong ones out there. And how you can judge a good tour company is how many host blogs they have in their stable. Because what they do is you send your book to them and say, I'm paying for a tour, and then they could have 100, 200, 300 blogs that they send out information to and say, do you want to be part of this tour? And they have to be quality blogs too.
Sure.
So that's basically, you have to find a good tour company, and that just takes a lot of getting in there, going to visiting tours, and following what blogs are on it and what kind of blogs are in it.
Is that a service that I Smell Sheep offers now?
Oh no, oh no. A lot of bloggers have gotten into it. A lot of tour companies were bloggers first. Blogging doesn't make money. You do not make money in blogging. We do sell ad space on ours, and that's how we bring in some money to pay for shipping and stuff like that. But a lot of bloggers started opening the tour companies, for income, and some are doing very well at it. So, and price can range from anywhere from $20 or something for a book blast where blogs will just put up a spotlight post of yours. Then you can pay more money for a different tier, and then you can get reviews and guest blogs, guest posts and interviews as part of your tour. So there's a menu you could pick from.
Well, that's good news. That's good information to have, because I really hadn't heard anything much about blog tours in several years now. I thought that was kind of a tool that people used in the past and wasn't using anymore. So that's good information.
The quality ones are still open, and I know in speculative fiction, paranormal romance, especially in urban fantasy, they're really strong, and you can get a lot of response from them.
Well, and he has a YA book, and so I'm thinking maybe there's a lot of YA book bloggers out there. Maybe they have some tour companies.
I think there's more. I followed some YA tours, did blog hops, and these things are massive. I mean, they have such a following. If you could find the right one, and I would suggest finding some YA blogs, some popular ones, and then you just contact them. That's the nice thing about a blogger. You can contact them. They usually have their information there.
Yeah. They're approachable.
I mean, yeah, very. And they love talking to authors, and we love talking to readers, and that's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
So just ask around without pushing your book. Do not say, I have the book. Just say, I want some information about.
Yeah. Try and develop a relationship first, and then maybe once you have developed a relationship with some or all of the members of the troupe or whatever, then maybe you can get them to accept your book for a review, etc.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question about pro reviewing, because I've never used a pro reviewer type of company before. All I've ever gotten were reader reviews, and that's perfectly fine. I think reader reviews are critical. We must have them. But if someone wanted to use I Smell Sheep for a pro review or pro reviews, plural, of their book, now tell me, what is the difference between a pro reviewer, a reader review, and why they need I Smell Sheep?
Well, a reader's review is they usually, they stick it on Goodreads or they stick it on Amazon, and they're just, because I used to do that. That's what I used to do. And they put it out there, and it could be short, or it might not be worded very well, but you get the gist of it. People like me on review sites, I wouldn't call us pros, but we enjoy what we do. We have a style. And So, the way we do things. And so we have a blog that has a presence on the web. So not only do we post our reviews to Amazon and Goodreads and whatever, it's on our blog. And then when people go looking for book blogs, their chances of running across us, therefore your book, is pretty good. And then, of course, we promote on all our social media, Twitter. We have a Facebook group, an I Smell Sheep Facebook group, a Tumblr, Pinterest. We have it all. And all our followers, all our members will promote for us. So you have that extra, I review your book, it goes up today, and then say 10 of our followers retweet it.
Wow. Yeah, that's great leverage there. That's a good way.
Well, have an advantage. As if it's just, a regular reader and they put it on their Facebook page, it probably stops there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it's you get a wider spread of acknowledgement in the industry, the book world, literally. A reader review is someone who's going to probably pop it up on Amazon, and that's the last you'll ever hear of them. If they like it, they're probably going to join your email list and that kind of thing. But if you're really, really looking to spread the word about a book, using I Smell Sheep would probably be a better way to go, I assume.
Yeah, anyone, because how we do every blog has their format. So, like, we take the book cover, which cover is so important. We'll talk about that later. The cover, the blurb, and then the review. And then I put the bio of the author's picture, all their social media links. So if a reader looks and goes, hey, I like this, they can immediately go down and click and go to this author's website.
Wow.
All right there.
Right.
A review on Amazon doesn't take you and give you all this information, whereas a blog review, it's all there.
Now, what about if you got a book for review and it wasn't a very good book? Well, I mean, do you do negative reviews?
Yeah, it's a book by book basis. We never go after a book. We never are harsh or anything towards the author or anything. We try to keep it, strictly about the book. And there's some out there that, have fun tearing up things, but there are not very many of those left anymore. But we will occasionally do a DNF, which is did not finish. And you just try and, just because I didn't like it or I had trouble with it, doesn't mean that somebody else, wouldn't, that they would love it just because it wasn't for me. So I would just say, this is why I didn't like it. I might say, it had too much romance in it, and I want an urban fantasy. Therefore, this wasn't the book for me. But somebody who loves romance and not urban fantasy would say, well, no, that's the book for me then.
Right.
You try and...
They are very subjective, book reviews are.
Well, that book reviews are subjective, and the whole point of a blog and the followers is you follow blogs where the reviewers have the same taste as you. Integrity is a big thing. Our members and followers can trust what we say. If I say I don't like something, they know they probably won't either because we have the same taste in books. And so, that's part of it too. Followers are real important.
Now, do each one of the reviewers at I Smell Sheep have different specialties? Like, I know you like urban fantasy and dark stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we try and keep as many different, because we do a lot of reviews for publishers. We deal with publishers. Penguin, oh gosh, well, that's the main one we do. But just about all the publishers we deal with, small and large. And so they send us, all kinds. So I want to have a urban fantasy reader, and I want to have a paranormal romance reader, and we want to have a fantasy reader. We also do comic books and movies.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not just books. We do, and we're on Dark Horse. They're press roll, so we get Dark Horse comics, ARCs.
Cool.
And Valiant Comics, so we review those too. When we have a reviewer, then he just does comic books for us. And we just brought on a new one, Celia Janelle, she was at Imaginarium. is now doing comic reviews for us. And then movie reviews, it's just if Katie and I go to a movie, we review it.
Well, fun. That is totally fun. And I think that's a great service to authors today. We really do desperately need reviews. And trust me, I'm going to be knocking on your door. I've got a whole new mystery series I'm about to unveil in 2016. So if you have any reviewers that like mystery, especially cozies and caper mysteries, I need to get in touch with them. Now listen, you also have a company. Well, first of all, to get a review through I Smell Sheep, is there specific guidelines that an author needs to follow?
Yeah, if you're going to submit to any review site, you can usually on their homepage find a menu option for, submissions or our regulations and stuff like that. You okay?
She's down here at my feet and she just won't leave me alone, so she has to be in every episode, I have to say. She's getting to be a regular thing. I introduced her the other night on a video I did for Nano as my muse. This is my little muse, Darby. Yeah.
But, you never really, if you just send an email to a blogger and just say, here's my book, here, the odds are they're going to delete it. We get so many. So go to the review site, find out where they tell you what to do. There'll be a place with the information. And basically you just send a letter, with the blurb and with the cover, and you just tell what kind of book it is and ask for, a review. And the best thing to do is not have a deadline, not say, I need it done by this time, because our schedules are full. But if we see a book we like, we'll go, oh, I want to fit that in. So I take a lot of self-pub authors. Some blogs don't, but it'll be in the guidelines. And I tell you, most of the books I pick are from blog tours. So if you're on a blog tour, there's a greater chance I'm going to review your book. Because I take a blog tour, says, here's a book. Do you guys want to review it? I send it out to all 7 of my reviewers to see if anybody wants to review it. And there's a greater chance somebody will have time and want to.
Gotcha.
So, that's where the blog tours do come in. You're going to get more reviews that way.
What about covers? You said something a while ago about covers.
That's self-pub authors just don't really grasp how important that is. A lot of us bloggers and a lot of readers, we choose books by cover. I mean, if there's a blog tour comes through and I see that cover and it's not a good cover, it's just homemade and you can tell, we'll pass on it. Because if I put it up on my blog, nobody's going to click on it to see, because they're going to think the same thing. They're going to be like, no. So, the money has got to go into editing and that cover. And if you got to do it yourself, you just go online and learn and see about.
Get some peer reviews if you're going to do it yourself. I've got one cover up right now that I'm going to recover pretty soon, probably, maybe into 2016 now. I am so busy, I'm meeting myself coming and going, but I've gotten some peer reviews on it that are not very positive. They're telling me it's way too dark. So covers matter. They definitely do. I hear that from a lot of different sources, but I had not thought about it coming from a book blogger / reviewer's opinion.
Yeah, it's probably more important to us because, like I said, we don't want to put up a bad cover on our site because, like I said, nobody's going to want to come see it. And like I said, when I'm going through, if I'm just going through Amazon and looking at all the new releases, I'm just going down till I see a cover I like, and then I'll read the blurb.
Yeah. So blurbs are equally as important, aren't they?
Well, yeah. Well, the cover makes me stop. So that is the most important. And then sometimes I don't even read the blurb. I'm like, oh, I like the cover. It's an urban fantasy. Boom, I'm gonna try it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you definitely are a very busy lady because not only are you reviewing for I Smell Sheep, but you also do pro editing for Devil in the Details Editing. So tell us about Devil in the Details Editing.
Well, for probably about 3 years, I was a beta reader. And that's something that anybody can do if you know how. You're following your favorite authors on Facebook, which is where I spend most of my time. And they're always saying, does somebody want to beta read my story or, in the book? And so I was like, oh, yes, I want to do it. I want to do it. Well, apparently I was very good at it. And so, especially content editing, I had a knack for it. And so I had a bunch of authors who kept coming to me over and over again. And they were like, you really should charge for what you do. And so it took me about 3 years to get the nerve up. But about, I guess, a year and a half ago, I started Devil in the Details editing, which is my freelance editing site. So.
Okay, so now what does someone have to do to use you for your services in editing?
You can go to my website, which I guess it'll be on the thing, devilinthedetailsediting.com. I got my little...
Oh, yeah, come, there you go, perfect. That is too cute.
I know, isn't that great?
It is.
Author of mine came up with my logo. She designed my website too, just because I did her editing, so she did it as a favor. But you just go to my website, and there's a submissions page you can go to, which talks about all I knew. Basically, I do any type of editing, proofreading, copy, line, content. You can send me a sample. I say 1,000 words, but sometimes I like a little bit more. You can send me a sample of your work. I'll edit it for free and send it back to you. That way I know what I'm getting into, because sometimes it's not ready for editing. And I've had to tell some people, you're not ready for an editor yet. It's too rough. But that way they can see what I do, because I've got a new client. She had contacted 5 different editors and trying to find one. So she sent samples out to 5 different editors, and this is what you got to do, because picking an editor is a very risky business. There's a lot of con artists out there who aren't very good, but they want your money, and it's scary because you got to pay for it before you get your results.
Yeah, that's scary.
It could be hundreds of dollars.
Sure.
And so this way, and most respectable editors will do the free sample. So that way you can see something, and then you just contact me, and we'll talk and set things up. It's real easy. The best way to find an editor, though, is if you read a book that was well edited, to contact that author and ask who their editor was.
Oh, that's a good plan.
All my work comes from word of mouth. I don't really do advertising. I could, but I'd start getting in a lot of stuff I don't want to do, to tell you the truth. People who just really aren't ready. But
and that's probably the biggest problem you see, is that people have a rough draft. It's the first thing that came out of their fingertips, and they don't know how to edit it.
No, they don't know how to revise. They don't. Writing is a lot of work. It's not just typing out what you want. There's a craft. I mean, there's talent, of course, but there's a craft. And if you hadn't worked on that, you're just wasting your money. Mm-hmm. And if it's, I've had a book where I had to edit so much, my name was going to have to be on it. And I was like, I can't do this. It's just too much work for what, I charge.
Oh, so. Wow. So what are some of the things that you do look for in a client?
I really don't look for anything in my client.
Well, in their work.
My editing, because, editing is subjective.
That's
like
true.
Book review. Somebody might think I'm the best editor in the world, and another person might think I'm awful. It's just a matter of, what you expect and what you want. Anything I say, any editing decisions I make are suggestions. That's all they are. I'm suggesting this is what you need to do. The ones I like to work with are the ones that will, if they don't agree, they'll tell me why. And then they make the changes, and so I'm really easy to work with, actually.
Well, and I think that it's a relationship. I've heard this even in traditional publishing, that you develop a relationship with your editor because you have a vision for your work, and they have to share that vision. They have to get it. And if they don't get it, if they don't get the story, it might not be a perfect match.
That's a lot of people find. I know somebody contacted me. They were like, I'm thinking of switching editors. I mean, if you're not happy with your editor, get out. Go find another one because it is just, there's so many out there. You no need to suffer. It's like a bad doctor. Why stay? Find another. Yeah, it's like I said, it's a scary thing for an author to have to do is to choose one. So
and it's not always about money either. I hear a lot of people talking about how expensive editors are, but this is your work you're talking about. You are going to get back what you put into this stuff.
For the most part, yeah. Some editors, some editors charge thousands of dollars to do something. With me, you're looking at a couple of hundred. Editors' prices can change, and I'm sure some are worth it, but I've had people tell me, they paid thousands of dollars for it, and then I edited it, and they were just as happy and a lot less money. So that's another thing you got to look at, It's, yeah. And see, another thing, like you were saying about being invested, my name goes on that book, too.
That's true.
Yeah, hopefully they've said edited by somewhere, but so, I don't want my name on a book that wasn't well done.
True.
So, I'm just as invested in having that turn out to be the best book it can, and I am just as excited. That's the whole point. I love editing. It's something I really enjoy, and to me, it's like a puzzle. I take their words, their book, and find where things don't fit, what's wrong, and fit it into the right places, and, solve the puzzle or whatever. And so it's what I like to do. And like I said, my name's got to be on it too, so I care.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but that's true. It is definitely a kind of a joint venture between the editor and the author to turn out the best manuscript that they possibly can. Mm-hmm. Now listen, yes. Going back to the book review part of it, I need for you to come up with your best top 3 tips for getting book reviews today, because this is a big deal to a lot of authors. It's really hard to gain readers without book reviews.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a lot of luck involved. Unfortunately, a great cover is a very big thing. Like great cover, that's what's going to catch an eye of a reviewer. Then you've got to target the right blog. If you've got like a paranormal romance, don't contact a science fiction blog. They're not going to want that. So you got to be really careful about who you target. And when you start picking your blogs you want to target, you need to go in and see. You need to look at their posts, look at their, things they've posted in the past about books of your type, so you can see what they do. How many are they taking of this type? There's a lot of research involved. So you got to target, you got to have that great cover, and just be, personalize. Don't send out a form letter and just chain, 20 different bloggers on it and send it out to everybody. We know when it's a form, and we go click because you haven't taken the time.
There's a lot of books out there waiting to be reviewed, people. Please, please. Be professional.
Yeah, be professional. You definitely want to personalize each email. Let them know that you know their blog and you know what they do, and because I Smell Sheep based on our title and our logo.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where's the logo? There it is. I love that logo.
Bart. That's Bart. Our vampire bat. We're quirky. That's what we do. We're funny. We do unusual books. We do unusual things. And we like our guest posts to be out of the box. We don't ask the normal interview questions at all. Authors really like doing interviews with us because they're like, tired of the same old, and we could give them something different. Like one of my favorite questions is, if you could own any piece of art, famous artwork in the world, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, would you pick the statue of David to have in your house, or
Actually, I would like to have a Dali.
and there you go, yeah.
I'm completely surrealistic.
And that's another good, you readers connect to authors, not talking about their book, but talking about their personal likes and dislikes, and being funny. People like to laugh, so that's what we do.
Well, that's awesome. That's great tips, and I appreciate you doing that for my viewers. So listen, we're about down to the last part of the show, and I want to give you an opportunity to promote your businesses and yourself and your website and your social sites and anything else you'd like to tell the people out there looking and listening.
Okay. Well, ismellsheep.com. We are, like I said, we're quirky. We like to have fun. You can get a lot of information from us and a lot of wide variety of books. And did you know this is the year of the sheep?
No, I didn't, but that's too funny. How appropriate.
February 19th was the beginning of the year of the sheep. And this is another thing. We won Predator and Editor's Readers Poll Best Review Site for 2014.
How
and
fabulous.
That was a total surprise to us because we didn't even know we were nominated. And somebody's like, "Oh, did you know?" And we're like, "Oh, wow." And then we won.
That's awesome.
And then it was Year of the Sheep. So we came up, the lady Danny Harper is the author who designed my website, designed this.
World domination. I love it. You guys, if you're not watching the video, you got to go to YouTube and check out this video just so you can see these cards. These are too funny.
The Blue Dragon, our Facebook, we have I Smell Sheep Facebook group, which you have to join. It's a closed group, but we have a lot of fun in there. And there's no promotion except for our stuff, of course. But we have a lot of authors in there, and Jake, the Blue Dragon, Jake lives in our Facebook group, and yeah, we have a lot of fun with that. So we only got a couple months left, and every month we have a really big Year of the Sheep giveaway each month on the 19th of each month. And I mean, big. So you can go look and see what we're giving away this month.
Yeah, y'all check out the swag and the contest. That's cool.
Yeah, we do a lot of giveaways too, and that's another tip. If you do guest posts or you do book reviews, offer a giveaway. A copy of your book is the best thing. It's a good way to get people to come by. Devil in the Details.
Yahoo!
Yep. I'm very flexible. That's another thing that I have to offer. I'm really flexible. I'm very quick. I can do a average novel of about 70 to 80,000 words in 4 days. I say you got to give me a week, but I usually get it done in 4 days because I'm just very quick.
That's awesome, though. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and but do not send something to go, okay, here it is. I've got to have it published in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Y'all be professional. These people that are doing your edits, your covers, your reviews, they've got a lot of other clients. You ain't the only one.
Well, the big problem is you don't know what I'm going to find wrong.
That's true.
There might be a lot wrong, and you're going to have to rewrite the whole thing.
That's right.
So never have a publishing deadline. During the review process. It's just not wise.
Well, great. And Sharon, do you have a personal site? You have a website of your own of any kind, or are you just too busy for the other?
Oh gosh, I Smell Sheep. I handle all the day-to-day, the scheduling and everything, and that takes up half my day every day.
Gotcha.
Then I got to read, and then the editing takes up the other half. So I love editing, but I love my site, so I kind of have to split between them.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, so it's it doesn't leave a lot of time for much, but this is what I like to do. I got kids, but calls at this point.
Well, you are a massive juggler to be able to do all that you do and raise your children and have your family and even your personal private time as well. Bless your heart. I don't think there's enough hours in the day to cover all those bases, but I'm real pleased to know somebody that tries.
Yeah, authors are like that, though. They got kids and full-time jobs, and they manage to write.
That's true. Nano is kicking my butt, y'all.
Oh, I know. Good luck with that.
I'm going to post up another video probably this weekend, give everybody an update on my progress. So just so you know, I'm going to be out there again.
Contact me when you're done.
I will. And I just have enjoyed having you on the show, Sharon, so much. And I would love to have you come back. If you get ready to go to another con, let me know. And, you know.
Yeah, well, like I said, well, the next big one is next year, NOLACon, which has got, oh my gosh, it's like the biggest names in paranormal romance and urban fantasy. They're starting their own convention. Charlotte Harris is going to be there.
Wow.
Janine Frost, Keishley Cole, the big names. And, so.
You know when that's going to be?
October next year. It's its first year, and it's in New Orleans. It's called NOLACon. NOLACon.com is where you can go.
And it's in October?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in October next year.
Wow, I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds like a great thing.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. Katie and I are going to that one. But I also do comic book conventions, and I'm going to one on the 14th, North Carolina Comic-Con in Durham, North Carolina.
Well, if you don't have any plans in March, we'd love to have you come to Mid-South Con right here in Memphis.
Memphis.
It's sci-fi fantasy, so it's got a lot of urban stuff, a lot of paranormal stuff. You'd fit right in.
Yeah, we have Con Carolina in June every year in Charlotte here, which is it's the largest sci-fi convention in North Carolina, called Con Carolina, that I go to. I usually go as a editing guest.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, if you ever decide to come this way, let me know. I'll definitely hook you up with some good old Mid-South folks. Listen, it's been a great pleasure having you on Writer Groupie tonight, and I do look forward to speaking to you again. And you know, we got to figure out another chance to have you back on this show, because this was just too much fun.
It was fun.
So thank you again, and I will be in touch with you, and we'll have you come back on the show at a later date. We'll figure something out. I'm kind of thinking about maybe doing maybe a Google Hangout or something with a panel. Yeah. Maybe some of your other reviewers. Maybe we could get together and do something like that. Yeah,
I'm sure. Because Katie would have loved to have been here and done this, but, you know, in California, she's getting home from work now.
Oh, well, yeah, we could plan a late nighter, you know, and do a Google Hangout, and that way we could all be a part of it.
Yeah.
We'll get together and we'll plan this.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you for listening to this edition of Writer Groupie. For booking information, show notes, and more, visit KimSmithAuthor.com.